unironically one of the greatest reincarnation isekai level plot points you could ask for. Reincarnated as a seventh prince isn't an isekai, it's a fantasy show with reincarnation, which is one of the kind of fun twists about it. But legitimately, this is one of the best plot points that you could ask for in a show like this, that you wouldn't expect would have this much depth and quality in a show that has as many quote-unquote plot screenshots that I can use for thumbnails to clickbait people out the ass. But that ending moment with the brother, I am always skeptical of siblings in these types of shows. Fantasy, reincarnation, isekai, like, there's always someone trying to stab you in the back, and he seemed a little too good, you know, like, but over the weeks I've been progressively getting more and more trustworthy. I am 100% in with Lloyd's brother at this point, and I think he might legitimately be one of the greatest siblings I've seen in a show like this. The fact that he actually looks at his brother, not as a competition, not as a tool to be used, but as someone he legitimately respects and loves, to the point that the second prince, someone aiming for his father's throne, can look in the dead of the eye and say, I believe Lloyd should be a candidate for the throne. And the dad's like, are you sure? That would give you competition. And he's like, if I'm not fit to be the king, it should go to the person who is, and I legitimately think my brother is a candidate for that. I'm not gonna just sit by, I'm going to challenge him, but I legitimately believe he is someone who's worthy. And Lloyd, being Lloyd, says, nah, I'm good, because this kid only cares about magic. Do you want someone like that on the throne? Absolutely not. But from their perspective, it makes sense of potentially giving him that shot because, you know, from their point of view, they think, oh, he just has bigger dreams. And I guess in theory he does. It's just to get better and better with magic. But it's hilarious. The fact that it's such a strong character moment that you don't see coming. And in most shows that show as many titties and ass as this one does, as sweated up as they are, you would think it wouldn't have depth to its writing. But boy golly, do we have plot meets plot. And I'm here for it. Full live reactions though over on my Patreon if you want to see my full length of thoughts to this or any of these episodes. It's going to be over there if you're interested. So this was freaking fantastic. I thought we were pretty much done with the fight. Maybe there'd be a bit more. Nope, Lloyd got to show off what he's capable of, and the girls get bodied, and understandably so. And one thing I have to really commend, it'd be one thing if they just like strip down the character's clothing and show like side boob and stuff just because obviously for the eye candy. But you actually have to give props to the people working on this. They bruised up these characters more than I see in most of these shows. Usually when like the female characters get like stripped down and bodied, it's like, okay, there's a little blood on their cheek, but it's just a lot of like sweat and provocative imagery. Our maid was actually bruised. Her chin was bruised, underneath her eyes was like, she actually looked like she was getting beat down, which you don't see too often in these types of shows. If anything, anime, if they have like a hot anime character that's getting beat down, they strip down their clothes and they add a blood splatter. Here, they actually bruised them up, and the animation was flawless. But the thing about the show that I've constantly complimented is that I think it has one of the most interesting magic systems of the season, and I think after this episode I'm ready to declare this to have the best produced magic system of the season. All I hear about the source material is how good the art is for different spells, and one thing that's been very, very nice is I haven't seen more than, I could probably count on one hand, I think it's been like 2 or 3 times over the 4 weeks I've made videos up to this point, that I've seen a source reader say that the art or animation didn't live up to the source material. What I've been seeing, which I rarely see if a manga or a light novel has great panels or covers or anything like that, is that the anime didn't live up. And all I'm seeing is, damn, the anime looks really good, and it's really cool how they use the anime medium to get across so many different detailed scenes. And that's really impressive. The show has actually, I think in this episode, what I realized is that if you've ever seen a battle shonen, what battle shonens usually will do is, because they have a lot more still frames, they give like a few extra lines, a couple extra shading details to make certain static shots seem more impressive. And I noticed in this episode, especially with the demon they're facing, they actually do that kind of shonen technique of kind of making the art seem more impressive than it would be without even just a few of those lines. And it does make certain scenes look more impressive. But the thing about this episode is Lloyd was being a maniac. He was constantly, the shifting of the magic system and how he just, at one point, he was kicking and playing in the water while people were getting bodied. And when he finally was like, Okay. It's my time to shine. He finally got to test out the things that he's been wanting to for so long. And the idea of this creature looking at Grimm being like, bro, you're a demon, what are you doing with him? I like Grimm's addition to the show because at face value, he's saying he needs to get more powerful and then he'll take his revenge. But he actually very, very much likes Lloyd. Maybe it's a bit of Stockholm Syndrome, but it could also just be because he finds him interesting and demons would find something strong interesting. The idea that, you know, you can look at the very end of the episode. Initially, when he absorbs this demon and gets more powerful, he's like, oh, I'll give him some time. You can notice he's like, he actually cares. But it really is flexed when we learn that we got a new doggo, which is the most adorable pet I think I've ever seen in anime. When he realizes Lloyd is impressed by how fluffy he is, he fluffs himself up. The thing, Grimm is in too deep. Like, Grimm loves Lloyd at this point, and I love their dynamic. But the thing about that made this entire fight so fun from last week to this is how out of pocket that demon was. The demon was a maniac, and I think perfect voice actor, gonna be hard to top this level of entertainment. The thing was having fun, and it was like a Joker in demon form, man. And the thing was just getting progressively crazier and crazier to the point of being like, bruh, when I take over the world, I'll give you women, money, whatever you want. Bastard didn't even see it coming. And I think it's pretty smart of Lloyd to use Robert, his like older version of himself, as like an alter ego to like say, how did this happen? Oh, Robert, because Tao already knows of him, and it just kind of works as a cover story. But just great, man. Like, this show, I never expected it to be this fun. But unironically, one of the best, like, twists and piece of writing you could ask for with that brother scene at the end. Perfectly in line with his character to decline it, but so well executed. I'm surprised by how good the show's still looking. I would think even just art would dip, but the character models, I don't think in 5 episodes the characters have went off model once. And the only time they have is when they're going into comedic scenes. The fact that we've seen as much crazy action, animation, explosions, special effects blended flawlessly with that 3D and the 2D, this is an impressive looking show with an equally impressive entertainment value that isn't so bad it's good, it's just out-of-pocket entertainment with actually some fun characterization, especially on the family side. And thank God he was born into a nice family. Could you imagine Lloyd if he was born into a family of like dark people like that would summon like the demon we were fighting? Could you imagine the chaos that would be inflicted on the world? Thank God he was born into wholesome. Because otherwise, rip everyone. Let me know what you thought down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. Of course, ring that bell so you know if I went up a little more. And like I mentioned, got those full live reactions over on Patreon. And hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. Alright, so today we have Yuki Ali, Rogue Knight, Pranay Sumshwar, Darian Smith, Raj Vermullins, and we also have Diedrich Savan. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.